Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, as you know, at least probably a couple of thousands of you know that last night around 3 a.m. I uploaded the video of Marilyn Monroe's horoscope. It was called Marilyn Monroe's drunk horoscope because I got drunk and I tried to do a horoscope, something fun that I do on my channel. And many of you have problem with that because I'm taking a divine science and using alcohol with it. But the thing is, it only counts when you do somebody's consultation. And this is why I don't do consultation, because of the fact my lifestyle, it doesn't coincide with the sattvic lifestyle that an astrologer needs to have. And I do not want to fake myself by wearing orange clothes and all the rudraksh and all the tika on my forehead and try to do astrology for you guys and have a huge following as a divine guru, because I don't want you to catch me in a restaurant drinking beer and eating tandoori chicken, which I love doing, because I'm not fake. I don't want to fake myself. I want to give you as who I am. And this is why I follow my principle. Not doing somebody's future horoscopes. Not doing somebody's horoscope in general at all. But I keep, I still do your horoscopes personally. I do predict your past. Did this happen? Did this happen? And you confirm this. And that's it. It's just like I just keep myself lubricated. It's like I don't want my knowledge of predicting be stuck and jammed. So I just do this little bit. But last night I did a drunk horoscope and strange things happened. I did her horoscope around 10:30 p.m. I was done and I was uploading it. My computer kept failing over and over again. 3 times it failed, restarted the computer, uploaded the video on YouTube, then suddenly YouTube tells me 345 minutes to upload a video. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Then I canceled that upload. When I canceled that upload and I'm trying to re-upload, the light in my room went out, just for no reason. And I was kind of like hammered. I'm like, I didn't really care if there was something there or not happening, but I just didn't rest until I uploaded a horoscope. But when I woke up in the morning at 7, just woke up, just wanted to see what's going on with my video, if I have any comments, if I have any likes or dislikes or whatever, and what you guys are thinking about the horoscope. My software screen was open still that showed her horoscope. And her horoscope, the horoscope that I had in there, had Cancer ascendant. And I did her horoscope with Gemini ascendant. Completely wrong. So what I did is I completely, messed up some of her personality in a negative way. I did some wrong prediction because I was just going by the horoscope. I didn't know. I didn't go and looked at her biography to give you guys that. I just looked at her horoscope and say, hey, this is what I see in a chart. This is what she is. But now I realized that there was an omen that kept showing up that don't do this horoscope. Don't do this horoscope. Don't upload it. So that's why I took that horoscope off. And just before I did this video, I asked in front of the camera, just 30 seconds before I started talking, that give me some omen about if you want me to do your horoscope or not. Give me some good omen or bad omen to if I should do your horoscope or not. And what happened is a bird right there on that ledge in my balcony, I don't know if you can see it, it's probably overexposed, just came and sat and just like started, just like in a very smooth, soft way. And I just kind of felt happy. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's that woman to tell me that, okay, this is her right horoscope and I should do that. And that's what I'm going to present to you. No matter if I did a wrong prediction, I want to give the right prediction to you guys. So let's bring Marilyn Monroe's horoscope up. She was born as a Cancer ascendant, not Gemini, as I did before. And this is Vedic calculation, the true calculations of the planetary alignment in the sky. So she was born as a Cancer ascendant with Saturn in the 4th house in the sign of Libra, with the South Node Ketu in the 6th house in the sign of Sagittarius, Moon in the 7th house in the sign of Capricorn, Mars and Jupiter in the 8th house in the sign of Aquarius, Mars and Sun and Mercury in the sign of Taurus in the 11th house, and Rahu in Gemini in the 12th house. That's her horoscope. Okay. So now let me begin by giving you who she is as a person. because your personality is formed by your ascendant, your moon sign, and your sun sign. And when you mix these three up, that's what you really are, not your sun sign horoscope, okay? So last night I kind of gave it wrong a horoscope. I said that she's very delusional, but now that changed. She's not very delusional. This horoscope tells me that she's a sweetheart in real life. Her ascendant is controlled by moon, soft planet, motherly, kind, you know, always out there to take care of people. And it just represents somebody who's very much about, you know, intuition and very much about just like providing help for others. And moon goes into the 7th house of Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, okay? So what it shows that her personality, her main personality, the ascendant lord, goes into the 7th house, meaning that she needed other people. She wanted to interact with other people. Her life was about, you know, psychologically and mentally interacting with people. And not in a bad way either. Because Saturn, the lord of the 7th house, is exalted in the sign of Libra. But ever since childhood, she always had a lot of responsibility upon her life. And later on, that responsibility of the mind turned into fear and an anxiety. The real fear and an anxiety, which I will discuss later. But first, and then if you notice, her sun is in the sign of Taurus in the 11th house. This is Vedic calculation, which shows that she was all about networking. And Mercury was with it. So Mercury and Sun creates a very talkative, very, you know, flirtatious, dynamic personality. She was all about engaging with other people in huge network circle and meeting other people, especially like older people, because 7th house moon is in the sign of Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, which represents older, mature things. So she was always attracted to mature, older men, secure men, because Capricorn and moon are two planets and signs that look for security, that look for, you know, secure den, because a crab has that shell around it to protect itself. So Marilyn Monroe, because she grew up in a situation where she did not have that security, her mind developed into a person that wanted security from other people. She wanted that love, she wanted that nourishment, and she wanted to provide that nourishment to other person. So very smooth, fun personality to be around. But why did her fame come? And when did her true fame come? Her true fame came around like 1949 and 1950. That's when she really hit big with certain photographer, and then everything was history. That's because at that particular time, she was running through her period of Jupiter of 16 years. She started right there and then her Jupiter period of 16 years. In Vedic astrology, you have Mahadasha, meaning that time periods that you run through. Like Jupiter may rule 16 years of your life. Then Saturn may rule the next 19 years of your life. And based on these planets, you will go through certain situations of those things. So why did our fame come into Jupiter Mahadasha? Well, first of all, Jupiter rules the 6th house of diseases, deaths, enemies, obstacles. And that planet, Jupiter, is in the 8th house of sudden events, transformation, death, rebirth, other people, assets, and, you know, sudden ups and downs. And what this is creating is something called Viparita Raj Yoga, meaning that suddenly somebody comes out of a very bad situation. So from all the obstacles that she was facing early on in life, Jupiter suddenly provided this upheaval for her. Not to mention, Jupiter is in conjunction with the 5th and the 10th lord of career, Mars, in the 8th house, meaning that sudden rise of career and sudden rise of fame. Because remember, if you saw my video of fame, 5th, 7th, and 10th house represents fame in the world. And her Venus is in the 10th house of fame. So fame automatically came in the Jupiter Mahadasha, where Rahu Dasha, she just started, she was struggling, she was trying to get up and up and up and down, because Rahu was in the 12th house, behind the scenes. So, Rahu was in the house of imagination, foreign land, spirituality. You know, it was in the house of like just losses, expenditures. So this what shows she struggled a lot to get herself out there, but that didn't really happen when Jupiter time came and Vipreet Raj Yoga took place. And Mars is a yoga karka for her ascendant. So that's what her fame life is. Now, her attraction to older men, as I said, came because of her 7th house. For Cancer ascendant, they're usually either marry somebody much older than them or somebody who's much mature, far more mature in a psychological perspective. So this is why she was attracted to older men. And Saturn aspects Venus, the significator of marriage and relationships. So it showed that if she would have gotten married, she would have gotten married late in life, like around 37, 38. Not to mention, Ketu also looks at Venus from the 6th house of disputes, of enemies, of obstacles. So she always ran into obstacles with men and relationship. She always ran into, disagreements with them. And not to mention, Jupiter represents the men that you really want to be attracted to. Jupiter is signifies your husband because it provides you with a child. Mars doesn't do that because Jupiter is a significator of the 5th house of children. So she was attracted to men like Jupiter in the 8th house in the sign of Aquarius, meaning that she was attracted to men in secrecy. She attracted to men who knew a lot of secrets, who were like powerful in the underworld. And 8th house represents the house of occult. 8th house represents house of, secrecy, house of secret relationships, secret affairs. And with Jupiter showing male colleagues and Jupiter being the husband, it shows a lot of secret relationships. However, her heart was pure. She never wanted to cheat or destroy anybody's home. Men came up to her. She didn't go up to them. She wanted to interact with other people, but men actually came up to her, and she wanted the interaction with other people, so she felt loved by other people. And so she fell in love with a couple of different relationships. However, I want to talk about her main thing is that her death, timing of death, and why she was killed, and was it really a murder or was it really a suicide? Now, before I even go into that, let me just tell you about her career, why she became an actress and fame came to her. Obviously, Venus is in the 10th house of career. Venus signifies artist, acting, performing arts, fashion, modeling, all of the things related to the entertainment industry. Then she was born at 9:30 a.m. in the hora of Jupiter, when Jupiter time was there. It was switching right between from Jupiter to Sun. According to the sunrise that happened that day, she was switching right from Jupiter to Sun. Jupiter is the sign of Aquarius, co-ruled by Saturn and Rahu. And if you notice, Rahu is in the sign of Gemini, ruled by Mercury, which represents communication, which represents mimicking, which represents, all sorts of mimicking, act of mimicking, and just general marketing and just going out there communicating. And Rahu is about mass communication. So it shows mass communication, especially in foreign lands. And Saturn is in the sign of Libra, in the 4th house. And it aspects the 10th house where Venus is. So both co-ruler where Jupiter is sitting, the Hora Lord, his sign placement are both in a Venus and Mercury sign, both of communication, art, and artistry, and just performing arts. So that's what her career was. But why her life was threatened, and was it a suicide or murder? Well, if you look at this, there's something called hemming of the planets in astrology, where if a planet is present in one house and both houses next to that planet are filled with malefic planets and functional malefic planets, it shows stress on that particular planet. So if you notice Moon, her ascendant lord, which represents a physical body, and Moon represents psychology, mind, okay? Your peace of mind is in the 7th house in a heart sign of Saturn, which brings responsibility, fear, and an anxiety. And then Moon is hemmed between the south node of the Moon, Ketu, Mars, 2 natural malefic planets, along with the 6th lord in the 8th house, which is again becomes a functional malefic. So both of these or 3 planets are stressing the Moon. And so what happens is, it's not like she was hallucinating and she was addicted to something. No, 6th house is the house of enemies. 7th house is a Marka house, and 8th house is a Marka house. See, in Vedic astrology, 2nd house, 7th house, and 8th house are known as Marka houses, houses that inflict death upon you. Their time periods and sub-periods bring death. But people run into these periods of these houses like 7, 8, 9, 10, literally 20 times in their lifetime. So you cannot predict death. And for those astrologers who predict people death, God, you are the complete biggest douchebag in the world. Because I get people upset that they went to an astrologer who said that they will die in 2017. Really? I think you guys need to have like psychology degrees before you have an astrological degree. But anyway, predicting death of somebody is not right. But these 3 houses represents death and rebirth. So if you really look at it, she died in her time period of Jupiter, who's in the 8th house, and sub-period of Moon, which is in the 7th house. Both of them Marka houses. And Moon represents the ascendant with the body. But knowing that 6th house represents enemies, 7th house is death, and 8th house is death, there's a lot of stress on her life with enemies and hidden things, like hidden threat. But was it a suicide? Well, it wasn't a suicide. Because suicide is seen from nakshatra. And suicide is seen from how badly the moon is damaged. Moon is not that much damaged. Even the moon is hemmed, is being stressed. It's only bringing pressure from physical things, not psychological things. There's a lot of obstacles, a lot of like enemies, people trying to go after her. And in the 8th house has Mars and Jupiter, 2 of Moon's 2 best friends. Yet in this horoscope, they're not so good. So men, especially men, are trying to secretly manipulate her and trying to threaten her. And if you look at Rahu from the 12th house aspects, Mars and Jupiter, meaning that there was a lot of foreign threat. There was threat from outside somewhere upon her life. And if you notice, her and JFK kind of died during the same time. So what it shows, first of all, that her death was, yes, now I will say even more prominently, her death was ritualistic. Her death was a part of a secret scheme. And here's the thing. One thing I will change from yesterday's horoscope is her death wasn't by poison or wasn't by drugs, but it was actually by strangulation or by hands. Why? Why by hands and strangulation? Now first, the reason why it wasn't a suicide is because Moon is in the nakshatra of Dhanishta, which is about creating wealth, which is about creating something of value. Her mind was about creating something of value and looking at her divisional charts, meaning that surgically opening up other aspects of her life in Vedic astrology and looking at it. Moon was not in any way, shape or form showed any kind of trouble regarding, self-inflicting wounds or trouble regarding like psychological trouble where she just wanted to kill herself. No. And plus the Lord of Dhanishta, Mars, is in the 8th house. And Mars is again represents cuts, burn, bruises, killing by weapon, killing by any kind of physical threat. There was a physical threat on her life, not psychological. But the reason why I say she was killed by strangulation or by hands, or they used a rope to probably commit this, and this is, I'm just looking at the chart, nothing else, is first of all Mars, okay, in the 8th house aspects the 3rd house. 3rd house that shows working with hands. And 3rd house is 8th from the 8th, meaning that it shows death. It's a secondary way of looking at someone's death of the 3rd house. And 3rd house is ruled by Mercury, which also represents hands. And Mars from the 8th house aspects Mercury. Then Rahu from the 3rd house of Gemini, which again represents hands, aspects the 8th house of death and influences Mars and Jupiter. So it shows that people who were very knowledgeable, people who were dealing with secret things, came after her, and someone probably strangled her or choked her. So I don't see suicide at all. What I see is choking. What I see is a strangulation by a rope. And again, I will say the reason why this was a ritualistic death is because of the fact 8th house involvement with Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn and Rahu shows that she was very much into occult things. She was very much into astrology, numerology, magic. She was always involved into these things. And if you notice, ninth lord of rituals is in the 8th house of death. Death by rituals. And again, just like yesterday's horoscope I did, 8th house is now ruled by Saturn, by its Multrikon sign. And Saturn is a significator of death for this Cancer ascendant for sure, because 7th and 8th house both are ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is receiving an aspect from Rahu, meaning that Rahu is bringing the 12th house energy of occult, of spiritual world towards Saturn, the one who rules death. So clear indication of some sort of a ritualistic death, some sort of a secrecy that was trying to get out, that shouldn't have been gotten out, and because of that, she was murdered. So I don't know what it is, I haven't looked into it, but there's a lot of conspiracies out there, which of course I have to be realistic. I can't buy into them unless there is some solid proof, but I'm just looking at the Vedic Astrology horoscope and telling you what I see. And I don't even know if this video is going to be uploaded. If you've seen this video, then yeah, everything went fine. But if I see trouble again, like if my video doesn't upload, it gives me trouble again, I will not upload this video, because I do not think an entity wants me to upload this video. But let's see. So far everything is good. I've gotten everything accurately, and I hope that all of you pray for Marilyn Monroe's spirit and soul and have her become free and get away from this jungle of planet Earth. And if there was a real omen last night, if there was some indication that she was present when I was doing this horoscope, I ask for forgiveness, and I hope that you can find it in your soul to forgive me after giving the truth about you and your life to the world. Thank you.